Good morning, advancers, Advanced Kingdom. Good morning. It's good to see everyone on this morning. As you come in, say good morning so we know that you are here. I'm just going through the chat. Good morning. Good morning. Tisha's here. Judy is here. Good morning. Kamika is here. Good morning. Yeah, as you come on, say good morning so we know that you are here and accounted for. Go tell someone that Advanced Kingdom is here. Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday morning, and we're moving throughout the week. We're progressing, we're going higher. The expectation is there, and we are excited about what God has prepared for us today. Every morning we wake up excited. Every morning we wake up with expectation. The expectation just doesn't go away. Why? Because our God doesn't go away. His promises, we woke up with his promises laying right there for us to pick up, for us to walk in, for us to see what God is going to do in the day. So we wake up excited. We wake up expecting what God is going to do. We wake up with surprises. I was surprised this morning. I checked some things and was surprised with what I saw, that things are working in our favor. This is our declaration that all things are working together for our good. They're working for you. They're working for your favor. Everything is turning in your direction. He's flipping the tables just for you. I'm here to tell you that God is concerned about you this morning. When you woke up, you're on God's mind. You're on the top of mind of God. That all of these things are happening for your good, and not for evil, but for good. His thoughts and his plans for you are good. Everything about your life is turning good. You are about to see the tables turn in your life. Things that were unexpected, things that people didn't expect you to do, you're going to begin to do, and you're going to begin to walk in those things. You got to know this, that this is the life in the kingdom. Life in the kingdom is that you're going to go higher and higher, and that your situation is going to get turned around, and that you're going to have favor with God, and you're going to have favor with man, that doors are going to open for you, that platforms are going to open for you, that wealth portals are going to open over your life, that your children will be blessed, your family is blessed, your community is blessed. Why? Because you're there, that your ship will never sink, that you will never go down. Because why? God is with you. That your foot will never stumble. Yeah, even a righteous man will fall down, but will get right back up. There is nothing that will come against those that love God. Yeah, that's the kingdom that we live in. We are the glory of our Father. Yeah, so things have to spring up in your life, because you are a walking testimony of your Father. This is the kingdom that we live in. This is the kingdom that you woke up in this Tuesday morning, knowing that your Father is concerned about you, knowing that his plans and his strategy are effectively working for you in the earth. This is the kingdom that you woke up in. So get excited this morning. Have expectation this morning. Oh, yes. Yes, even if I'm in a bad situation, it's turning around for my good. He's working it for my good. Yeah. Yeah, so it's a reason to have joy in your heart. It's a reason to have peace in your heart. Yeah, let the peace and the joy of God come within. Oh, I'm excited. Good morning, Paula. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Nedra. Great God morning, Sherry says. Yes, I am in agreement with you. It's a great God morning. Ah, yes, we are the ones that walk with God. This morning, we're going to open our hearts and our minds to see what God is saying explicitly in this hour. And we do that through his word. We open up his word. We dissect his word. We seek after God in his word. What have you said? What have you declared? And this morning, I want to bring up to the stage Dr. Lakeisha, which will be sharing this morning's devotion. Dr. Lakeisha, good morning.
Good morning, Tim. Listen here. I believe you got the word of the Lord in your mouth this morning.
I just woke up with the joy of the
Lord. Go ahead and continue.
No, we're excited to see what you will say, how the Lord is going to use you this morning. So I'm going to turn the platform over to you. I'm going to mute my mic, and you can begin.
Okay. Amen. Good morning, all of you advancers out there. I don't have my other screen So I'm not able to see your comments, but I just wanted to say good morning to you all. This morning I'm going to be coming from Jeremiah 18th chapter, verses 1 through 5. Last week we were talking about just some of the enemies to our advancement, and how when we were in prayer we heard, that commandment of forward march, right? So this week, when I was asking God exactly what to kind of talk about, and just what He really wanted to say, He took me to Jeremiah, the 18th chapter, verses 1 through 5, and it's talking about being on the potter wheel. And I know that this is something that we probably all have read before. We've heard it before, but it's a different situation when you living it out, right? Where you are going through this process of being made again. And the potter has, formed you and allowed life circumstances and situations to come to make you into another vessel that he deemed is worthy of use. And I kind of definitely feel like with all of us and just life situations and some of the circumstances that we are going in and what we're living through, we are all being formed and shaped. It's a continual life process. So even if you've been with God for 20 years, there should always be this process of forming again, right? So Jeremiah 18, verses 1 through 5. This morning, I'm going to be reading it out of the King James Version. It says, "The word which came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying," verse 2, "Arise and go down to the potter's house, and there I will cause thee to hear my words. Then I went down to the potter's house, and behold, he wrought a work on the wheel, and the vessel that he made of clay was marred in the hand of the potter. So he made it again into another vessel, as seemed good to the potter to make it." Verse 5, I'll read 5 and 6 as well. Then, verse 5 says, "Then the word of the Lord came to me, saying, O house of Israel, cannot I do with you as this potter, says the Lord? Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are you in my hand, O house of Israel." So in this particular passage, we have Jeremiah, and we know the familiar story, a familiar passage which comes from like Jeremiah 1 and 5. Before I formed you, I knew you. And I was just, as I was reading this, one of the things that I wrote down when we're thinking about the life of Jeremiah and looking at it in scripture is that before God calls any man or any woman to the assignment or to nations, he calls them unto himself. And when God calls them, like he was talking with Jeremiah before he was formed and he came within this physical earth, this earthly body, he knew him intimately, right? And then God chose his mom and his dad to be the vessels that his word will go through and be birthed through within the earth. And we see within this whole concept of Jeremiah that before Jeremiah gets these assignments to go out to the nation, God is taking him through these process of development to cultivate a level of intimacy between him and Jeremiah before he does his assignment, right? So that was something that we see in the prior chapters. So I put down, before God calls anyone to an assignment to do, right? To do or to perform and do all of that, he first calls us to be. And that to be is having that abiding and that unbroken fellowship with him as sons, and even though I'm saying sons, even though we're daughters, as children of God. And I like to think of this as when we are born in the earth, we are all somebody's son, somebody's daughter. We grow up and then we get all of these elaborate titles, doctor this, bishop this, chief master this. All of these things comes as a result of growth and development. But the God-given birthright is first a son, first a daughter. All of us, regardless of our race, our color, all of that, we're born somebody's son and daughter. So I wanted to preface that as we go forward to being on the potter's wheel, right? That's the first call. So that's the first thing. When I looked at this whole thing with scripture, one of the things that they teach us in school, because I'm still in school working on getting my second doctorates and studying theology, they teach us about the different movements within scripture and how certain words and certain things causes movement from scripture. And one of the things that we see here is in the scripture, verses 1, I believe it talks about verse 1 or 2. It's a movement statement that says, arise and go down to the potter's house, right? And naturally, that's something that as we reread it, we can maybe physically think that Jeremiah is getting up, he's arising, he's walking down, he's going to the potter house. But this is a movement term. And one of the things that I wanted to look at this morning was the process of the movement, right? So when we look at this concept of arise, it means to stand. It means to be established. It means to be valid. It means to be proven. It means to come up on the scene. It means to be set up. It means to be fixed in a certain posture, right? So God is telling Jeremiah basically to arise, to stand, to be fixed, to come on the scene, basically. And then when we look at this word, the potter's house, if you guys have ever did, making pottery. I'll talk about that, like the different phases of making pottery. But if you ever made, pottery, you can kind of understand the relationship when it comes to the one who's doing, the molding, the potter that's doing the shaping and the clay, right? Typically in that process, the clay ain't giving any no talk back and be like, what are you doing? Ouch, that hurts. It's a silent process in which the object, which is the clay, is able to be moldable into what the potter wants, right? So when we look up this word potter, yaster, I believe if I'm saying it right, it's basically a maker. It means to fashion. And it doesn't only mean to be like to have like a predetermined frame, but it also means to fashion basically human and divine activities is what it was saying in the commentary, right? And then the other thing is another movement term is I will cause thee to hear. So when we hear that word to hear, it means to listen, to obey, the power of hearing, the power of understanding, to proclaim, to listen. And within these movement terms here, we see it all getting Jeremiah to this specific place in where God is able to speak to him. A lot of times when we are looking to hear the word of the Lord, it comes, and sometimes it comes when we are in the right posture. Sometimes it comes when we're in that physical location, mental location, and a spiritual location to be able to hear and receive the word of the Lord. So one of the things here that we see with Jeremiah is God had to cause all of this movement and give this command. Jeremiah had to put action to obey the commandment to get to that appointed place where God had predestined that he and told him that he would speak to him. Right? It was a specific location. So sometimes what I put is sometimes the word of the Lord is released at a specific time, a location, and a posture. We see this with Jeremiah. God told him, when you get to this place, this is where I'm going to speak. And it's the same thing with us. If we've ever found ourselves needing to seek, needing to press into the presence of God to really hear from him, it was more so us positioning our hearts, just like Jeremiah was in this particular passage, to be able to hear from God, right? If we keep going on, moving forward to that, I wanted to highlight the relationship between the clay and the powder, right? So I put the clay is subject to the making again of the potter's decision. The clay is palatable, it's moldable, and it is molded to fit the desired outcome in which the potter has already predestined. I thought about this and I said, what are some life experiences that one, God is using to make us again? I'll say that again. What are some life experiences that God is allowing us to experience so that we can be made again? And then what are some things that keeps us from being moldable like the clay? Okay. So one of the things that I put down I always try to find myself in the word before I try to find someone else. I'm finding me. Okay. Listen, I'm gonna find Keisha in this word. Um, I thought about this and I just remember different phases of my life where God had allowed certain situations to happen to make me, right? I remember the transition, professionally chain in education, being a professor, reaching at a point in my career where I was really in the highest position at that level in my career. Um, you know, tenure track professor, doing amazing things, doing a lot of research. And then I hear the voice of the Lord, just like Jeremiah saying, go to the potter's wheel. And when I embraced that process, I was for certain that I was gonna, come out to be this grand sign and a wonder, right? And I remember going and embracing that process, and that was where God was like, "Hey, I want you to start a farm." And I was like, "That's not God. That's really not God, right?" And I just remember telling God during that process, I'm like, "God, this does not make any sense. You have me out here looking like a fool." And it wasn't a lot of people during that time that I could really tell, because it doesn't make sense. You have someone here who is very successful in their career, and now they're forsaking that and they're leaving that, and they're giving up the tenure track. They're giving up all of the benefits to now be this entrepreneur and work for themselves. And then they say they want to go do farming. And I said, I remember telling God, I'm like, "God, you really have me out here looking like a fool, God." And, like I said, I'm from the hood, so God did not come with like the angel. I didn't see no bright light. He just came to me and he was like, "Let me run the tape back. You want to talk about looking like a fool?" When he started reminding me back 1998, you was out there looking like a fool because of your actions. 19, then he went to 2007. You don't remember how foolish you was looking? He started running the tape back of so many incidents in my life because of the personal decisions that I made, that I had myself out here looking like a fool. So, after he ran the tape back, I was like, "Okay, God, that's what we doing. All right, I can be foolish sometimes." So he reminded me of the importance of being willing to let go of my identity. And when we talk about, when I ask that question of what are some things that keeps us from being molded again, sometimes it's the identity that we built in a certain life that we created. It's the image, right? Um, I always like to tell people God is a God of a comma. And even though the American society tells us you can only be one thing, God is always going to be putting commas behind you and behind, what he's calling you to do if you're going to be willing. So this was a comma phase in my life. This was a making, right? Where all of the things that I built in this identity that I took pride in, I remember ever since I was a little girl, my daddy was always telling me, to go to school, get my doctor's degree. He was telling me all of these things, and I built up on what my father vision was for me, right? So when I finally got it, I had this sense of purpose, of identity, like, yes, right? Only to be broken down, only to watch the life that I felt was what God wanted me to do, which still is, but I'm just not in that role. But I'm still doing some of it, but just not in that capacity. I'm watching him make me again. I'm watching him take off. Okay, your identity was in this position. Let me remove this position. Your identity was in this. Let me strip this out. You was getting a little prideful, arrogant. Let me pull you back. Let me take you down, right? And one of the things that I wrote down, and like I said, I can't see any of y'all comments. So Tim, if I'm going left field, just put in the behind the scene chat. Get back on track, okay? So one of the things is when I was going through this process of being stripped, I also remember one of the biggest strippings I had to kind of go through in this process of being made again was this thing of independence. God was telling me, I'm trying to get you to be interdependent and not independent. And like I said, I'm from the hood. So, he came to me. Okay. So he didn't come to me with the angel. He came to me in the song of INDEPENDT. Do you know what that means? Right? That's how he came to me. He came to me with that song. And he was telling me, he was like saying, Lakeisha, for where I have predestined you to be, like thinking and taking into consideration, I have a predestined plan for your life. And in order for you to get to that place where I want you to be, I have to now deal with your now, because I see your future and I know what your self-dependence, your self-independence, your reliance. You've seen this song, I pay my own bills, I pay my own house, I got my own house, I got my own, you do all of that, Keisha. And I have to get you to be interdependent and reliant on me. So I'm going to have to make you uncomfortable for a second, right? I know you have the skill set. I know you have the skills that you can go out here and be the boss, and you will be the boss, right? But you're not going to be it in this season, because I got to make you again. I got to make you again so that when you come back on the scene, you got your character intact. You're plugged into the source. You are 100% for certain that it's not your degree, it's not your skill set, but it's me that's opening up these doors for you. It's me that's making a way. And you are also learning how to be in the midst of this, achievement and all of these things. You're also learning how to be dependent and reliant on me. Okay. I said, okay, Lord. So we're going through this process. All of this is making sense, y'all. Still on the potter's wheel, because I'm talking about myself. I really thought about coming on here talking about Tim and calling people out on that 1 minute chart. But I said, I'm gonna leave that for another time. So that's why I'm talking about myself. But I got a message for Tim, okay, with the 1 minute chart and the structures. But today we're talking about me, so that you guys can be able to see that we all have been in that place where we've formulated an identity, an image, right? And now God is going through these different processes of stripping. And sometimes it's stripping how you see stuff. Sometimes it's the stripping of the internal stuff that people may not see, that he is formulating, that he is making in us, right? So that he can get us to that finished end and that finished process. So this is what I put, still going on along this, that sometimes this concept of what is stopping us from being moldable, it's the image that we have about ourselves, the image that we built that is rooted up in pride, that we have to look and be and have certain things. It's kind of like, why do you want to pass a challenge? What is the real purpose behind that, right? Why do you want to be a trader? Why do you want to get the wealth? Why do you want to be this grand sign and wonder, right? Those are the things that when you are on the potter's wheel, God would begin to work out. It's the internal things in the heart that nobody can see. Like if you were to look at me in that season of my life, you wouldn't think I would have been arrogant or prideful. I was so nice, right? I was so kind, so humble. But God knew what was in my heart. And it's when we are on that potter's wheel, he begins to work out the things that people can't see, right? The heart things, the motives, right? So one thing that it is, sometimes we fight. So we talked about that. Sometimes we fight being made again because of the simple fact of the image that we have. Sometimes we fight being made again because we have gotten comfortable. And one of the other things that I put is sometimes we fight being made again because the culture has benefited from us being utilized in a certain way. I remember, with me being in education, I remember that transition of what I felt my circle or my net or my team being totally shifted when I became over to farming, when I became a investor and done real estate and all of these other business things that I've done, I remember some of my colleagues saying, well, what are we going to do now? I mean, who's going to help with research? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? And it was causing a gap in their system. So they did not want me to leave, right? And sometimes when God is making us, it's going to cause us to transform into what he wants us to be. But the culture or the system or the friends or the family that knew us in that one capacity are sometimes going to fight to keep us in that capacity because it benefits them. Sometimes it comes in like, you doing too much. You show that's God. Or you just, do you really got to be that big and that grand? Do you really got to do it? It comes in different ways. But sometimes it's those voices and those things that are coming to keep us in a image formed in a vessel that God says, I am no longer using you in that capacity, right? So that's what I kind of put for that one. The next one is your hurt and your pain. This is something else that keeps us, and I got to watch my time. Okay. And this is something else that keeps us from being formulated into what God has called us to be. I can be very transparent and say, my biological mom and dad were pastors out in California. And whenever I was born, I've seen some things happen with them. And then having our family split, me go through adoption and my adopted father being, in ministry and things of that sort. I grew up seeing a lot of stuff. So a lot of the stuff that I've been through, and then even with me still being young, being an armor bearer, serving, my bishop and all of this stuff, I've always been around church. So even for me, I'm like, I don't want to do anything related to church. I'm like, I'm gonna sit back over here. I don't want to deal with nothing. I don't want to have anything to do with that. I want to go to church. I love God. I want to sit in the back of the row and I want to go out to the streets and minister to people, right? But there was a point in my life where God was making me and forming me into another vessel, and he had to deal with the hurt. Because sometimes it's the hurt, it's the failed business deal, it's the hurt that you've experienced from people, or it's the hurt or whatever it is, the pain that you've been through, the rejection, all of these things that will keep you from embracing what God had called you to be. And I remember being at that point in my life where I told God, I'm done. I love you, but humans are overrated. Listen. They out here, Lord, looking like a hot mess. I don't have time for this, right? So God had to remind me that even in that season of my life, he was letting me know you cannot allow your pain and your hurt to become an idol. So much so that you are holding on to this pain and hurt, and I'm here at the potter wheel trying to make you again, right? And a lot of times we hold on to this old pain, this old hurt, as an excuse to stop us from growing, right? But God is saying, no longer can our hurt and our pain be the reason why we're not allowing him to make us again, and we're not embracing what he has called for us to do. All right, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about with this was this whole process of being made again. As I mentioned, whenever you sit down, we're talking about the different steps of designing and making pottery. There's like 6 different processes. The first process is design. This is where the potter sits down, and the potter, he or she, they're thinking about the final product. So they have already, before they even start, they have an ideal of what they want this image to be. This is very important for the design because it determines which process of the making or technique you're going to use to formulate this product, right? So that when you get to the second step, this second step is making, right? So with this, there's a total of maybe 7 different processes of how you can make clay or make pottery. There's probably more, but I only did some research on 7 of them. The first one is wheel throwing, where you're using this technique because you're trying to create a symmetrical piece. The other one is slip casting. This is where you pour like the liquid into like a plastic mold, and it already has like a predetermined shape. So if you're trying to make, let's say, like a cup or like a plate, you would pour the liquid into the mold, and then once it sits there, it will come out into the predetermined shape, right? The other one is dealing with hand building. This is where there's a lot of pinching, there's a lot of, coiling. You're doing like a slab rolling. A lot of times when you see the powders, they are on the wheel, they're doing this, they're pinching it, they're in that making process, but that's just one of the techniques. The other one is dealing with stacking, where you take like the rope, you take the clay and it's like in little ropes and you basically are stacking them. The other one is we talked about where we're talking about the potter's wheel. This is where the familiar one that we know the most of is where you have the wheel and you are forming the clay or the pottery by adding water to that process, right? The third step is the drying. So after you have formulated it, you've done all of that. One of the things that I'm sorry for the making piece, one of the things that I put, this is where things begin to be like a hot mess. I put that before things get slippier, they get wetter before they start getting dry, right? So when you're formulating, water's going to get everywhere. Everything's going to be kind of out of order, but it's a strategicness and it all makes sense in the process. So there may be many of us that are in our life right now and it's like, Lord, it look a hot mess, and it may do. And he may, if he from the hood, he gonna tell you, and it does, and it is a hot mess right now. Okay, depending on which side of the kingdom you're on. Anyways, he would have told me it is a hot mess right now. Okay, but you have to know that that's not the end product of it, right? It's not the end goal. This is only step 2. You still got 4 more other steps to go in, right? So regardless if you find yourself in that hot mess season, knowing that this isn't the end. The second step is the drying step. This is where you have to take in consideration the elements, right? And they were saying that the hotter and the drier that the object is, the faster that it would be. And if you don't have the proper drying, and if you're uneven in your drying, you'll start getting cracks, right? And if you see people with little cracks, that's basically, the pottery with little cracks, that means that they had an uneven drying process. And what that looks like in our life is we may be a full form object, but our character, every now and then, a word may slip out. Every now and then, per my last email, may come out. Professionally, you will go off, okay? Every now and then, you might be a Peter. You may lay some hands. You may, cut off an ear. So you every now and then. This is what life looks like when we have our cracks, right? They show up differently in us, right? And sometimes when we have those cracks in our life, that's a sign that we need to go back and allow God to begin to close those gaps and to complete that drying process in us. Okay, number 4, y'all, I can't see none of y'all comments. Tim, if my nephew is on here showing out, please block him. Okay, I can't see none of y'all comments, and I just felt something in my spirit that my nephew is on here about to show out. But anyways, let me move on to the next one, trimming and cleaning up. This is the most fragile place, right? When after you've done the drying, this is where the object is very soft. You have to be very careful with this one. It's very fragile. This is where you have to do a cleanup. One of the things that it was saying is that if you have any of these sharp edges, as you begin to put it in, the fire, these sharp edges will begin to be magnified and they will actually end up cutting you. So that's where you have to smooth out those sharp edges, right? And what does that look like for our life? This is when God is fine-tuning our character, right? This is when he allows situations to happen and you don't go off. He allowing people to try you and, you don't say anything. And I just remember so many different seasons of my life where I literally had people like lie on me. I knew they was lying. They didn't went and told their whole family. They didn't told the whole world. They didn't lie. And the Lord just said, don't say nothing. And I'm just like, Lord, you got me out here looking weak, Jesus. He's like, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. And he was dealing with the character cracks in me because the old Keisha from the hood before Jesus, I would have laid some hands. I would have cut up some cars. I would have keyed some cars. I would have did something. I guess I would have. But the Lord is saying, thy holy daughter, I cannot do that. So I'm going to need you to sit right here in this, where you know that people have not told the truth about you. You know this, and you can't say nothing. And I'm going to check your heart. So not only can you say something, you can't hold a grudge up in their heart, because, you know, part of me was like, well, Lord, I ain't got to say nothing to them. That's fine. They ain't got to talk to me. I ain't got to talk to them. I ain't going to say nothing. But my heart was still harboring the offense, still harboring them lying on me and saying things that wasn't even true. And I couldn't even defend myself. Right. So that's the dealing with the cracks. Right. Moving on and cutting the trimming, the fine tuning. Right. There comes a point where you and God, you can't be laying hands like that. Okay, you need lay hands in prayer. You can't be doing a 1-2 uppercut on people. Okay, we gotta grow. So the Lord told me I had to grow. I couldn't do that. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Going on to the next one. Number 5. And I really feel like I need to pray, because I feel like Keisha's showing up a little bit too much on this live, and I need to be hallelujah. Okay, glory. Number 5 is the bouquet fire. This is the first fire. The clay goes into it. This is where it experiences like this chemical and physical change. And typically the physical and chemical change takes place like at a certain temperature. So from about 1,950 degrees Fahrenheit, this is where that physical and chemical change happens with this particular, when you put it in the fire. And depending on what you're doing, they were saying that sometimes it could take up like to 10 hours. So you got to imagine you're 10 hours in 950 degree Fahrenheit heat. Okay. And you would think after that, you would have thought you would have been done, right? You'd be like, oh, good, I'm done. But then there's another fire, okay, that you could possibly go through. This is the glaze fire. And within the glaze fire, this is the final steps for some of the pottery. There's 2 types. You have an earthware, where that temperature goes from 1,868 to 2,156 degrees Fahrenheit. It has to reach those temperatures to finalize, solidify the final product with this particular product that you're making. And the other one is the stoneware, where the temperature goes from 2,156 up to 2,372. So that's 2 different rounds of being fired. Okay, that's a lot. Okay, and some of us right now are living that out. We've been in fire after fire after fire. And how does all of this relate to us as traders? Because I went all the way around the Marbury bush. Ain't seen none of y'all comments. So y'all probably was talking about, come back. I couldn't see none of y'all comments. So that's why I'm out here. Okay. So going back to this, how does this relate to us in our life as traders, right? Last week I was talking about this whole concept of the enemy to our progression. And sometimes God is using those enemies to push us into that place where we will be yielding and willing to come to the potter's wheel, right? It's when we get to this potter's wheel that God can be able to make us again. And I feel like even in our lives as traders, this is a new making again. Not many of us was born into a family of traders or families of generational wealth. So we're going through these processes, right, of being made again. And sometimes that made again process looks like we fell in accounts. Okay. We dealing with our psychology, right? We calling Tim and the coaches in the group, like, I need a one-on-one. Like today, let me tell you what I did today. See, what had happened was it looks like that process until we are constantly on that potter's wheel. We're going through cycles of development and growth in our lives as traders. So eventually we can get to that final product that God intended us to be. And I'll say this and then I'll pray. The end goal for us as traders in this community should not be to be multimillionaires, right? When God created us, that's a byproduct of what God wants to do when it comes to generational wealth. It's a byproduct, but it's not the end goal. So God is saying, I want to build a covenant with you guys. You know, ATK, I want to build a covenant with you guys to cause you guys to be perpetual generational wealth birthers, right? So in the process of that, I have to make sure you have some of your character things intact. So that's why I'm sending you on this process, dealing with your psychology, teaching you how to still be grounded, teaching discipline, teaching you how to show up, teaching you, how to be skillful, teaching you how to put me first, right? Teaching you business and financial principles so that when you get to that place, the generational wealth in this covenant, that it's going to be something that remain, right? And what I looked at is the concept of being a multimillionaire. Money comes, money goes. You can get fame one day, lose it the next. But a generational blessing of wealth is a covenant. Okay. Listen here. That's a honey. Okay. I can't see none of y'all comments, but that's the whole covenant. Nobody can't take that away from you. Okay. I don't care. You can lose your money today. You can blow that account today. But when the blessings of the Lord is on you for this generational wealth, it's something that nobody can take away. So because God knows that this thing is forever, like forever, ever, he's working those things out in us, in our character, in our development on this potter's wheel, so that when we are finished, we will have the blessings that remain. So I am going to pray. And I hope somewhere through these messages and through me being comical about some of these situations, you guys were able to find something that was able to speak to you, that if you feel yourself in this making again process, that you can be able to embrace it. And I know, like, even for me, I spoke of a lot of past situations, but even now in my own personal life, I'm in a making again, where there's some things in my life right now where God put on hold. And, I'm an investor. He said, you're not doing deals right now, right? I have so many deals that are just on hold because God is making something out of me anew. And I am right now in this potter's wheel, being shaped, being formed, because he knows the future that I can't see. And a lot of times when you're in that potter's wheel, you have to be able and be willing to stay in the timing of God. Whenever you are pottering and you're making pottery, I don't know if any of you have made pottery, there's a rhythm. There's a rhythm, right? And you don't want to get outside of the rhythm of God, because the pain of the making and the breaking and being made again is something that you're not willing to do. So my prayer for everybody in this community is God gives us all free choices and free wills. And for everybody that's watching, that we would be willing to be made again. We will be willing to be and allow God to put us on that potter's wheel so that he can make us again. So I'm going to pray today for our will, that we will be in agreement, because I remember many years ago, I was praying, and I was praying and I was like, oh, save them, save my family, save this. And God was like, you got to be careful with that, because they have a will, and you don't want to be out here praying these witchcraft prayers when somebody don't really want saved. Somebody don't want to be saved. Somebody don't want me, Lakeisha. So pray for their will. So when you pray for the people, that their will choose God, it doesn't override our right, I don't want to say our right, but our human nature that God has given us to freely choose, right? And I'm going to pray for our will today, that our will choose God, right? And then I'm going to turn it back over to you guys. I'm way over my time. Okay, here we go. So, Father God, we just want to come and thank you for being the great I am. We're thanking you because in your strategicness, you knew, Father God, the end result. Before we were formed, you knew us, and you already had a predestined plan, predestined pathway for our life that encompassed so many different points in life where we would have to be made again. And I pray that even as we embrace this process of being made again, no longer will we be in grief, no longer will we be in stagnation of grieving a loss that we perceive or we think that we've lost, an image, an ideal, a level of success or status that we're thinking we're losing by being put on the potter's wheel. So I pray for our will today, You are a sovereign God. You are the Lord of our life. And you've given us this opportunity to choose. So, God, I pray today that in our choosing, we will make a decision to embrace the means and the methods of your making us again. And I pray that, Lord God, that in our agreement of being willing to be made again, you will establish with us, Father God, that everlasting covenant that upon our life would be the covenant of your forever blessings, God, through 1,000 generations, God. We're thanking you for that covenant and that agreement where we will live in favor. We will live in your generational wealth. We will live, Father God, in peace, where we will have peace on every side of our life. So we're thanking you for bringing us into alignment and the willingness to be in alignment with your will, the different process of the making, Father God, the different things that we have to go through. Some of us may find ourselves in that fire. And Lord, even in the midst of the fire, rekindle our love and our desire for you, rekindle our dependence on you, our trust in you, that no matter where we find ourselves at in life, we will always remember that you are the potter. We're never too far away. We're never too far off. Our life is never too out of control, that you as the Father cannot come back and bring everything in control. So we're thanking you that we will have total dependence on you. We're thanking you that as you are making us again, let us begin to embrace that process, God. And for that, we will forever give you the glory, the praise, and the honor. And even as I was praying, just hearing a completed process. So Lord, I pray for the grace to finish. I pray that you will not allow us, Father God, to begin to be those vessels that has cracks in their breaks because we did not complete the process. But we're thanking you for the completed process being done in each and every one of us, so that as we are being utilized as your vessels, we're coming forth pure, whole, and completed, Father God. So we thank you for that. In your son Jesus' name, we pray. Amen and amen.
The grace to finish that process. Oh man, Keisha from the block. Well, another good meaty word that you gave us today for sure. Man, there's so much that's packed in that word that's just going through through my mind right now. But I like how you talked about your personal experiences. You, Keisha, personal experiences, even job wise, how God took you off of a path that you thought you were supposed to be on. He took you out of that system, and to others, it may have looked like, what is she doing? Like, what is she doing? She's right there. She is excelling in this industry. Why would she leave this industry? Why would she do anything different? But the obedience is what is key. That obedience, even the obedience that you had to listen and be willing to look foolish for a moment, like, hey, just being willing to look foolish for a moment, because we know it's those foolish things that will confound the wise at times. But if God said it, then we have to do it. We have to do it. But another thing I was realizing, even in the process of being on the potter's wheel, it is so meticulous. That process is so very meticulous, and there's things in that process that won't feel good, that that may take a long time. But if we jump off of that wheel too soon, we really gonna be out there looking foolish. we gonna be looking like a 3-year-old art project out there if we jump off of that potter's wheel too soon and we don't sit through that process and let Let him make us, let him shape us completely and finish that work in us. So, man, good stuff. Good stuff, Keisha. Did you have your matcha this morning?
And I'm out here struggling. I ain't had no matcha.
Listen, you didn't take that sip this morning and go to another level. Like,
look, I'm out here struggling right now. But
hey, but you came through. It was the anointing that was on you.
The anointed.
That definitely came through, man. Like, oh man, that process, man, that process. Ooh,
and it's the meticulous process of it, because I think in America culture, we live in a microwave society.
Yes.
We want everything like right now. And sometimes when we see people that maybe have blew up overnight, we just think that they just started, but they have a lot of underground work. They have processes after processes, completed processes that we're not even able to see, right? We just see them blow up, right?
We're seeing the finished product. Like that's all we're seeing. It's on the shelf, sitting in Michael's or Hobby Lobby already. That's what we're seeing. But yeah, there was a whole entire process behind the scenes that we didn't have privy to, because it's not our business. It's not our business. Someone else's process. We need to be focused on our own process for sure.
And then this is the last thing that I'll say to that. Once you have those completed processes, that's where that weight comes in, right? So if the enemy wants to come talking out the side of his neck, right? You got history, you got completed processes that will stand against every attack of the enemy, right? So once you complete that, like, for example, I passed my phase of keying up cars. I don't do that no more. Okay? I passed that process, right? Now you will get per my email. You will get that still, but it's a process of working and development. You see what I'm saying? So once you grow to a certain level and you complete that process, you up on the stage, right? Nobody can't come and cause you to go back to a process you already completed. So that's why we got to complete the process. Okay, I'm done.
Absolutely. That's a new meaning to your name, Keisha. Because you was out there keying cars. My God. Come on.
Look where the Lord has brought me from. Look where he brought me from.
Hey, he brought you from a mighty long way. My God. Oh, Keisha. Man, Denise put it in the chat. Keisha. Don't be surprised if I start calling you Keisha. Oh man, no, that is awesome. It's good to be able to look back and see what he's brought us out of, and see the growth, and that we did allow him to take us through a process. But that's not a one-time thing. That's not a one-time thing. If we get to a point and we're, like you said, we're noticing those cracks that are there, it's our responsibility to jump right back on. Get right back on the potter's wheel. Let them take us through that process again. It may be something that we didn't allow him to finish before, but he wants to finish. Because if we don't take care of it here, when we get here, those little cracks may start off as little cracks, but they expand and they get bigger and bigger, and they will bring you down. So, no, that's awesome word. I'm gonna bring up Mr. Tim this morning. I see him sitting in the wings.
Yo, yeah, that was an awesome word. Yeah. You know, we're learning more and more about you, Dr. Lakeisha.
We are.
I'm gonna keep calling you Dr. Lakeisha because that's the side I want to stay on. Right, Dr. Lakeisha. I'm not calling you anything else. I want the doctor out of you.
Doctor of the key.
Oh yeah. We're gonna keep calling on Dr. Lakeisha because we don't want stay on the. Yeah, you came off of that wheel. You ain't no reason to go back. Ain't no reason to go back. You know, it's funny. It's funny. I'm joking. It's the deflection in her tone changes. So when Lakeisha comes, then Keisha comes, and then she goes into that news anchor, that professor standing in front of the room.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah, yeah.
okay. Let me see which one we dealing with. No, that's good. That's good. And you're a walking testimony. You're a
Absolutely.
walking sign to what God is able to do in our lives. How He can take you from one place to another place. And so I love that about your life, that you're willing to testify about God. And I think that's something for all of us, is that as you were speaking, what I begin to see is that this is God is on this potter's wheel. And I'll just say this. I'll just say this because I was in a conversation with someone a while back ago, and they said, it's not that deep. You try to say, and they don't understand that I've been on the wheel in places that I was broken and then developed and then broken and then developed and broken and been developed so that I can understand deep things.
Mm.
And so when you've been through that process, you don't want to stay on the surface. And one of the things that I see a lot of times is that we don't recognize that when we're on the potter's wheel, that God is developing you for the capacity to handle more,
Mm-hmm.
and for the capacity to go deeper into your realm and sphere of influence. It's not meant for you to stay on one level. And when you discern this potter's wheel and what's happening, especially in this community, what's happening, God is intending for you to be in a certain position and intending for you to be in a certain place. And so the potter's wheel has to happen. The development has to happen. If you look at this community, the reason why we put people on stages and different things like that is not because we need a body, but it's because of where God is taking you. Not taking everybody. Everybody's not going, but where He's specifically taking you. And some of you, God has promised. He says, "Listen, I'm going to bring you on national TV. This is for you, your training ground. You're going to be called by others in the earth, and you're going to be on national platforms. But I have to develop you first on the potter's wheel." And so there's moments like this where it says, "Listen, I'm only speaking to like 5 people, or I'm only speaking." Well, no, you're not. You carry nations in. You're speaking to millions of people, but you're being prepared in front of the 5. It's the potter's wheel that God is so strategic that He's willing to develop you into a place under His wings until he's ready to push you out. And so there's that potter's wheel. And you mentioned something that with the allowing people to grow, that when you see, especially with the Advanced Kingdom, that the Advanced Kingdom, as hard as it's going to be, we have to let folks go. Why? Because they're being developed in a space for a work. And so that development happens. They're nourished, they're nurtured here, but they're not going to stay here their entire life. There are greater platforms for you to go out in, and things that you can accomplish. And you have to recognize that this is just a potter's wheel.
Mm-hmm.
That what you're experiencing on this level is it may for the outside look like a low dimension, but it's really preparation for what you're going to be doing in the future. If you recognize your draw of how you interact with each other, and how you manage the investment, and how you speak in public, and how you do these different things, you're being prepared for future work that God knows, but you may not know. And so that fortitude to what you were talking about with your fruit remaining, so that your fruit will remain, that generational wealth, that no one will be able to take away what God has established in your life. And it's that one piece that you have to do is give your life to God while you're on the wheel. You can feel it. I'm on the wheel. And hopefully you are always on the wheel. Hopefully that there's constant commas in your life to where you're continually growing from one dimension to another dimension. And those that are unwilling. And here's the thing. I wrote down a few things you said, but what came to mind is there's 2 types of wheels. There's man's will and there's God's will. And when you're on man's will, it leaves you, they will try to put you in a mold and a pattern that doesn't fit. They will try to put you into a mold and pattern, and then when it doesn't work, they'll leave you broken. On God's will, he doesn't leave you broken. He'll pick up every single piece and use every single piece and put it all back together again. And that's right. You got to stay on that wheel. And so, great word this morning. I just wanted to say some things that jumped out to me as you were speaking. Great word this morning. There's no better place to be than on his wheel. Stay on that wheel. There's no better place to be. You're being developed for a future work, and don't fight it. Don't fight it, especially we're going to be pushing people. We're pushers in this community. You see that, like, we're not gatekeeping anything in this community because people need to be developed. Even if you believe that you're mature and different things and wisdom and stuff, there's some skill sets that need to be developed and worked. Mm-hmm. Your mouth needs to be worked. You need to be able to articulate. You need to be able to stand in front of folks and declare the word of the Lord and tell them what you are thinking. You need to be pushed. You need to be challenged. I praise God that he puts us in a proper space where they challenge us with rules, because a lot of us aren't used to following rules. You need to be challenged. God is putting you on the wheel to develop you, so not to hurt you and not to harm you. You're not sheep for the slaughter, but you're more than conquerors. He's putting you on the wheel so that you can conquer. Yeah. That
is so good. So good. It makes me think, I was having a conversation recently with someone about career, and how in your career you can see, or you should be able to see, development even in your career. So you go from, working on this level right here, and there's something that you had to learn on that level, and you may not have understood why you learned it. You may not even fully understand the lessons that you learned, but when you get to the next, you'll see that the lessons that you learned here they really were for your next. And then he does it again, and he'll take you through lessons and seasons of lessons and testing and process where you may not understand what exactly he's doing it for, but his process is so meticulous, and he does not do anything without a purpose. There's not one step on that potter's wheel. There's not one aspect of it that's not without purpose. There's a reason for everything he's doing, even when we don't understand that reason. There's a reason for every step that you just went through, Dr. Lakeisha, for why he did it, and it's for the perfecting of the saints. It's really perfecting us. It's perfecting something in us. Our character, I feel like in this season, has been the one thing that keeps coming up is he wants to work on our character. And when he's saying that, and when we consistently see him saying that, we have to understand it's for a bigger reason. We have to understand that it's because he's taking us somewhere, and that character is what's going to sustain us.
Sustain us. And then too, that's in that stretching piece, when the clay is on the wheel and it's stretched, it's being stretched so that it can handle more. That it has the capacity to handle more. If it doesn't stretch, then it loses its value, its usefulness. It only can be used for so many things. But the more that it's stretched, the more that it's spun, the more that the pressure is applied to its outer edges, the more it will discover that I can contain more, that I can handle more. It may feel like it's getting ready to break, but the potter knows just the appropriate amount of pressure that you're not going to break, but you're going to stretch a little more. You may feel like you're thin, but on the outside, but the potter knows just how much pressure to apply so that you can handle more, so that you can contain more, so that he can give you more. It's the potter's wheel. This is a great lesson. That's why we call it meat, because that's exactly what we are. We are. There's some things in our life that you feel like I can't handle any more of this. Like this is a lot of pressure, but allow it to happen, so that you will know that it's not going to be the end of you. It's just a matter of a day, a matter of a couple hours, and that thing is going to be over. That it did not destroy you. You will testify. It did not destroy you. It wasn't the end of you. It may not have felt the best, but it didn't destroy you. It didn't take over your life. There's some things that you experienced last month that you thought was going to take you out. But guess what? Last month is testifying that you're still here. Last year is testifying. 2023 is testifying that you're still here. That what was in it wasn't enough to take you out.
Yes.
I'm in my 40s now. I have 40-something years testifying that nothing was able to take me out these past 40 years.
That's good.
And they tried to do everything to me, but I'm testifying that all of those years are testifying to the upcoming years that, hey, y'all, we wasn't able to take them out. I doubt you will be able to take them out. It's a testimony. We're being stretched to handle more, and we're coming. That's the thing. We're coming. We're on the potter's wheel because he's going to be sending us out, and we're coming. So get ready. We're going to walk into spaces. I really feel this. We're going to walk into spaces where they're just going to hand it over. It's not going to even be a fight. They're just going to say, listen, we heard that you're coming. We're just going to hand this over to you.
Yes.
We're going to get hand over blessings. We're going to get hand over blessings. Let's go.
Listen, our reputation will precede us.
Come on. Come on. You don't understand. Say that again, Terrence.
Our reputation will precede us.
Oh, man.
Our name, it's already in rooms that we haven't been in yet. Our name's been there already. There's already chatter. There's already whisper. Have y'all heard about this right here?
Yeah.
And so the chatter is only going to increase. It's only going to increase. So man.
That's so good.
And last thing I'm gonna say, and then we're gonna bring Denise up, Dr. Denise, the scalping queen. But I think about being on the potter's wheel and actually seeing that process. He's got you spinning. He's got you spinning, and so sometimes it feels like you're in a whirlwind. You feel like everything is chaotic, everything's spinning. Like it's one of those real storms. But understanding that when you feel that way, when you feel like everything is just spinning in your life, you're getting dizzy from one test here, one trial here. That's a part of the process. That's a part of the making of you, of this piece of clay right here. So, but Dr. Denise King, the scalping queen, good morning. We're gonna bring you on up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey.
Yeah.
You are morning face ready. I mean, just come on through with it. Yes, look at that face, honey. Yes, beautiful. Yes.
What they say, her face is beat.
Okay, yeah.
Listen, Tim, when you said you don't know which one, pick one. You don't know which one, Dr. Keisha.
That was Keisha right there.
You don't know which one you're gonna get. Okay, did you just see that switch? But that's why I love her, because she's real. She's real. She's just down to earth. She might have that doctor in front of her name, and she got a couple other letters at the end of her name. But the one thing about her is she's going to be real. She is that is how it is.
Yeah,
that's how it is. And I appreciate you, Dr. Lakeisha.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm still on your face. That's it. We can end the live now. It's just listen here.
Oh man, that's funny.
Look, I'm getting quicker in the morning, okay? Look, before when we were on the Zoom, and when Tim announced, "Yep, we're going to YouTube, everybody gonna be on the screen," I'm like, "What? What does that mean?" It means you got to get up and get ready. No more sitting in the pajamas. At least from the top up, you got to do something, right? You got to do something. So.
That top up, that's all you need. That's all you need.
I've learned that skill, right? Yeah. Because before COVID, way before COVID, 2014, 2013, I was working from home.
Mhm.
So, you learn the skill of top up, just don't get up in the
Right,
meeting to go
right.
get nothing and not turn your camera off, because you might have pajama bottoms on,
Right.
but everybody right now is used to that.
Mhm.
We're flexible. We're flexible.
Yeah, it's becoming normal.
Hey, I had a service guy come by my house, really, I think end of last week, and I forgot I was only top ready. So I know he was looking at me crazy, like, "What? You got this button-up shirt,
all buttoned up shirt on this.
What you got going on down there, sir?"
Oh
he
no!
was looking real foolish.
Oh man!
That is Dr. Cleach, one thing I'm going to say about this morning's word, when you said God would roll the tape back, would roll the tape back. And I remember years ago, I must have had some dream or something. It was a vision that came to me about us standing in line at the gate, right? And it's a big screen TV, and you turning around hoping that people are not looking at your past, because it's on the big screen. Everybody can see what you've been through, and I'm like, oh, please, Lord, can you just like tilt the screen another way? Because I don't want to have to be in line and just see my stuff. I'm not talking about nobody else's stuff, just my stuff. Okay, you roll the tape back. I am very appreciative to where you have brought me. Okay, I'm very appreciative of that. Some things you don't want to have to go back and see that tape rolled back to see exactly where you were, your attitude, how you responded to people, things that you've done in your life. We want to stay as far away from that as we possibly can. Yeah. So that roll the tape back is an experience. Yes. If you ever think that you're there, just go to sleep and let him roll the tape back on you. Okay.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Yes, it's definitely humbling when you think you got to a certain place, he roll it back. But then it also has been a teacher for me just to have patience with others, because when I was in my crazy stage, and people had patience with me, but now that I may not be as crazy, okay, I said as crazy because it's still a little in there.
Yeah,
I still got to be patient with other people as they're going through their process, and I think that's the reminder. I think one of the scriptures I remember reading, and one of the things that I constantly go back to is the one that talks about in the Bible where he who has sinned much loves much. And that reminding of where you came from, that gives you that grace and compassion for others, right? Because we're all in our process. So you may meet somebody today and they at step 1, 5 years later, they didn't finish their process, but you got to make sure that you don't hold them to that last phase in that process you saw them from, because God could run your tape back. I don't want
exactly.
It's just I don't want that tape ran back.
Yeah,
that's good.
Exactly.
It ain't gonna be good. I'm gonna let you know if you're watching the tape, it's not gonna be good. I tell you that. God did a work. God did a work. Yeah,
good stuff this morning.
Yeah.
No, really good word, Dr. Lakeisha. This morning. Awesome. Well, Tim, it's 7:24.
7. All right. We throw up this disclaimer.
Stuff to take a look at. Put up that disclaimer.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys a moment. Go ahead and read through this disclaimer on your own. And while you're reading through, I need y'all to talk to me in the chats. How y'all feeling this morning? Who's excited about trading today? Who's excited about the process today? Somebody talk to me in the chats. Come on. As the preachers say, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Rolling.
Chat is real quiet right now.
Chat, where you at? Here, I got something for the chat. Let me throw up something for the chat. Let me
Is it terrorist approved? Wait a minute. Is it terrorist approved?
You know,
I'm almost scared to see what he gonna bring up, but go ahead, Tim.
Hold on. Let me see if I think this is terrorist approved. I did get terrorist approval for this.
Okay, then that's scary. Okay, let's see, because Terrence got a big old grin on his face. I'm like, what does that mean?
Dr. Denise, I feel like this is a setup for you. I feel like
I kind of feel that way. There's something about the two of them.
See, they about to put in there a code in the chat for you and Nedra's show. I feel like it's a setup.
Look,
look, Lakeisha, can you please check the Discord, okay? Check the Discord for me.
Let's see. Let's just see if I just want to get the chat's opinion, because we've been talking about this Denise and Nedra show. We've been talking about it, and yesterday you said you ain't had no time and you jumped off the call and you ran away, but then you still was in the chat. So I was like, oh, you still here? So I said we're gonna get her this morning. It's gonna be a setup this morning. So I want to see if everyone is down for this Denise and Nedra Power Hour. Let's type in the chat if you are down with the Denise and Nedra Power Hour in the chat. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about this Power Hour is that this is something that you can bring the popcorn to. It's trading nights with Nedra and Denise. Grab your popcorn, grab your drink. Who would sit down and watch this Denise and Nedra Power Hour? That's what I want to know.
Tim, get back on the wheel. Tim, get back on the wheel. Get back on the wheel. You're doing a lot now.
We got to put up this poll. We got to put up this poll. Let me see. Do you want this segment? And we're just going to leave it at a yes or no. We're just going to leave it at a yes or no. Let me start this poll.
Nedra, where are you? I know you're out there somewhere. Nedra. Oh, she might have taken her daughter to school, so I might be home alone right now.
Oh no, it's out of our hands. It's in YouTube world right now. Oh, we're getting the votes are coming in. The votes are coming. The votes are pouring in. Oh wow, this is going crazy. The poll is going crazy. Right now, we have 100% demand for this show.
See,
there's a demand for this show. There's 100% response right now in the audience. It's not me. It's the advancers that are screaming for this. Judy says yes. Kiara says definitely.
Terrence, get out of the chat.
Oh no. Dr. Ann says I am down.
Okay.
Michelle says yes, so ready. Oh, man. Bring it. Oh, I see it. Scalpers unite, Tamisha says. It's a whole movement.
The amount of excitement that is in the chats for this, like it's incredible. I don't think I've ever seen this much excitement about anything on Advanced Kingdom.
Oh, about Terrence and new friends? Yes.
Oh, this is another level.
This is going. Like my computer is like shaking right now. It's almost shut down. I'm getting flickers on the screen. This Denise and Nedra Power Hour. Oh wow.
I feel the power coming from it already. Like yeah. Oh man.
Wow, this is something.
Okay. So, I'm gonna be calm. I'm just gonna be calm.
Now. Well, the advancers have spoken. We're just kind of the advancers have spoken. What's your thoughts on this, Dr. Denise?
Tanya, help me out, please. If you're not in prayer, pray for your husband and Terrace right now and help us out. I'm good with it. I'm good. God is stretching us all, right? I'm good.
Ooh,
some
Is that-
point. I'm
Is
not.
that a well, let me go ahead and put, should I start putting
No,
something?
no.
Are we talking about, should we
No,
put some dates and times
No,
on this, or?
we need to process off screen.
Yes, you got to process off screen. And there's a process that has to happen off screen.
There's give the people what they want. Terrace,
Oh.
get out of the comments.
Oh,
Get out the comments, Terrace. You know,
God, listen, God is placing a demand on the anointing.
Oh, I
in
feel
your
it.
life.
Oh, I feel it.
He is placing a demand.
I want you to roll the tape back to last week, Terrace.
No,
Roll
Oh.
the tape back.
Roll it back.
Just roll it back, Terrace.
Oh man.
Right
Oh,
before,
yeah.
like Tuesday, Wednesday, roll that thing back.
No, but that Terrace
Before New
Friday was an
Friends.
iconic. It was an iconic moment. And so
It was.
This is going to be an iconic moment right here.
I think that's why I'm enjoying this so much. It's because this was once me.
Terrence, I don't think you learned the lesson though. That much in the lesson.
It just feels good that it's not me right now.
This is going to be so good. I'm excited. So let's get Isaiah to get the music together.
Yes.
Like what genre? What we're gonna get something for you. We're gonna create a whole vibe for it. I'm gonna have my popcorn, and I'm gonna have that. So it may be we're gonna talk about it.
Okay.
But it's definitely out there now. The Denise and Nedra Power Hour.
Okay.
And chat, as we're going through, come up with some creative names for the segment. What would you call this segment? Put that in the chat as we're going on. Just say, hey, I think should be the name of the segment. Put that going on, because this is going to be big. You two have a whole audience that you don't even know about.
Lakeisha, why are you typing? Why are you typing, Lakeisha?
This is going to be huge.
Paula says she can't wait.
I had a name. I was gonna put it in there.
Look, because your hands were like not exactly in front of you, and your shoulders were moving a little. I'm like, get out the chat.
Oh, when you two get together, it's gonna be bomb. And Nedra ain't here to defend herself either, so you ain't got no help.
I know
right
I
now.
don't.
You got the whole chat coming at you.
She's dropping Arden off to school right now, so y'all just kind of.
That's why we strategically timed the announcement.
I
we
believe
know
you
what
did.
time Arden goes to school.
I believe you did. I believe you did.
7:20.
But I have the power of bounce back, so I'm just gonna.
Oh man, that is funny.
We know Arden goes at 7:20, 8:20 her time.
Yep. Like, let's go ahead and get this
So,
out.
Terrence, I see you were in the planning of this, but it's okay. It's okay, because your new friends, Terrence and New Friends Friday is coming up soon, so it's okay. And I'm going to support you again. I am going to support you.
But coming right now, do you see this as like a weekly
No,
thing?
Tim, it's time for headline news. It's time for headline news.
I just want to get your thoughts on that. How you saw it,
or could it be daily? No, okay, all right.
It's time for headline news.
That may be you may be on to something.
We have a process here, right? Y'all. Anyway.
Yeah, it's headline news time, y'all. I was looking at the script. The next order of business is headline news.
Okay, we'll jump to headline news. We'll jump to headline news. Let me hit the button for I hit the wrong button. Excuse me.
You need to go back on the wheel, Tim.
Oh my goodness, this thing. Let me find the thing. Let me find the script. Hold on. Here we go. Headline news. Headline news. All right, we found it. Headline news. All right. So today for headline news, there isn't going to be a lot of red folders that we're going to cover. If you notice what we went through yesterday, yesterday with headline news. If you notice, what we went through is a lot of stagnation in the market. That is because of lack of news. You're going to get that with the lack of news. What I'm going to bring up is Forex Factory. You'll see that there is no red folder USD news today that we're going to get caught in. We do have the 10-year bond auction. What's notable about the bond auction, the reason why it's orange, is it's a predictor of what future is going to be. If you find the short-term bond getting more return in the short term, a 2-year bond auction has greater interest rate than the 10-year. It's a forecast that we're heading into a recession. The short term looks better than what the long term looks like. So that is something, a key indicator that investors will be paying attention to, is this 10-year bond auction. It will affect USD price, but not as significant with what's coming up tomorrow. We have to be careful of pushing price, because indices, metals, they do not want to create historic highs or go to the lows without having tomorrow's data. Tomorrow is going to be significant. We're going to have CPI month to month, the number one factor for the Fed in determining interest rate decisions. We're also going to have the Fed fund rate. Is that going to increase, decrease, or stay the same? That is something that we should be backtesting, seeing what happened in the past. That's what should be the focus of the FOMC statement. Our capital should be preserved for tomorrow, because it will be fireworks. That's the number one economic indicator for in an inflationary environment. So today we're not going to get that news. Today we're just going to get the 10-year bond auction. But pay attention to the DXY. DXY is still bullish. It's still pushing up. It's creating a double top. It's retesting the highs. As that pushes up, we can expect indices to push down or be unstable in its direction. And same with gold. We can expect gold and metals to push down or to be unstable in its direction for the midterm. Trade technicals, but be careful and be aware of these fundamentals. And that is your headline news. So a few things going on today that's going to be important with price.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can go into our red zone right now.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Here it is. Oh, nope, that's not it. Wait, hold on. That's not it either. Hold on. I'm getting it. Hold on. Here. There it is. I found it.
I can't wait to see you in person. I really can't.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Got the head vibe.
Woo.
Red zone.
This is the way I'm gonna be dancing. Up that power hour.
Oh my gosh! You know what? I want you to go back to the meme that I put on about you and Tim yesterday.
I see it.
Okay.
Oh man.
Wait a minute.
Oh
You
no.
and Tim
It was. I
yesterday.
just hit the wrong button. It was the wrong button.
Yeah.
I just hit the wrong button. I got
Yeah,
all these buttons
I
on
know.
over here. You just
I
click
know. You did. You did.
It's a lot. It's a lot of buttons. Yeah.
them. Yeah, you just.
You did. And can I share my screen? I got something going on my chart right now. I want to be able to share it right quick. Okay. That is Tim and Terrace. A mess. A hot mess.
I knew it was a setup. I knew
We can
it.
move forward. You can move forward now.
Oh man. Oh,
Yes.
that's funny. That is hilarious.
I
I
don't
was
think
just clicking buttons. That's all that was happening. 1,000 buttons. You just click them.
Right.
the joy that came upon me when me and Tim was discussing this yesterday.
Terrence was like, yes, let's do it. Yes. I was like, oh, it's on. It's on in the morning.
Okay.
Man.
It's all good.
Oh man.
I still love you guys. I do.
Oh man.
This is all love. This is all love. Hey, real quick, I saw Billy post on the back end to take a look at platinum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, Billy said take a look at platinum.
What we taking a look at? What we got here?
He said pull a fib on the last bull run. He said the price is between 61.8 and 78.6. And there's a trend line down by 78.6 with a few higher time frame MAs. He said it could be a turnaround area.
Yeah, we got it's approaching that 78.6. We do like 78.6, that zone. I was really paying attention to DXY to see what kind of strength we're gonna get. I was watching this. We were in this when we pushed up, hit the trend line and fell through. That was significant, and how we broke through a lot of these zones yesterday. That was significant. And so it really has to prove itself at this point of that it's ready, that it is ready to make that pivot. It's getting there though. There's definitely divergence that's there. And I was talking with someone yesterday on because they were talking about the timing of the turn. And even though you have these higher time frames that show the divergence and whatnot, the way that we trade, are we going to be around for that when it actually does happen? So all we can do is really predict, if it's there, then yeah, we'll take it. But if the lower time frames aren't showing it, it wouldn't be worth it. I do see the 4-hour divergence. I do see the 800 that you're talking about on the 4-hour, the 78.6 that is approaching. That does look like a good zone. The hour is divergent as well, so that's confluence. But it hasn't proven itself. We're still in this. If you think about it from a reversal pattern with this much of a downtrend, you would want to see this put some kind of pattern or some kind of indication that it's ready. So it's either going to be exhaustive wicks, it's going to be a left shoulder head, and then the right shoulder is tested, and we can't close lower. Those are indications that it's ready to push up. But if it just leaves from here and goes, those are most of the time are things that we're going to miss because it hasn't proven itself. It just takes off out of nowhere, and usually don't see that. That happened too much. Right where it's at, you do have the 1-hour 50 that could possibly be rejection, that old support here that could potentially turn resistance. So we want that tested first. We want to break through in a retest. If that rejects and falls to the bottom, then we want the same test at the 78.6 level on this one. And I haven't pulled up VWAP. We know it's going to pull up to that before, but I haven't pulled that up yet. But the range that it's in now is sort of working through that. We need to break out to one side or the other first. And then here we are in the lower time frames that is completely contradictory to what the higher time frames are saying. So we don't have the time frame confluence right now. And if you're trading it, you can trade this on the lower time frame, just the up and down movement, but you don't have direction yet to say that it's going one way or another.
Yep.
And we was looking at DXY, just where we're at here, that that 105 above 105 range is acting as support, which is important to me. It's still not direction, but this long move, then we gapped open, and yesterday we didn't fill the gap. And so that tells us that the intention is still bullish, that we came up and we're starting to push higher. We're starting to hit some more highs. So right now we could come down, use this as support again, and continue to climb higher. We may just come down and fill the gap. But the reason why that's important is that if it's just a teeter-totter with gold, if this stays high or in starts pushing in a consolidated mode sideways, gold could be dropping if it turns around or if it finds support. Right now it looks like it's a double top, looks like it's going to fall. So that does kind of say, okay, let's start looking for some gold buys. But you need to see that direction first, and metals, platinum as well, if that starts dropping. But right now, just on this, it's testing its last high right here. I think you can probably see it better on the 15-minute. Is that it pushed up, it's coming back down and testing this area where it broke up past it. So we'll see if that holds, but I wouldn't be surprised if we start trending upwards in this before we get a big drop down.
I see the same thing, Tim, because when you look at the higher time frames, the 4 hour, the 8 hour, it's like you still have room to push back up.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to go a little bit higher maybe, and then maybe see a drop. But probably test that 105 again, 105.2 maybe, somewhere in there.
Yeah, and that'll set the tone for what we're doing over here with indices and gold.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look. We are getting some bullish movement on gold as we're getting that small push down. It is breaking a high, so we potentially could go up from here. And this is an important trend line that we're on, or a level that we're on, excuse me, that we've been on. Is actually, we're in historic highs. So this is the neckline right here of support. If this breaks, this would be the next retest down at 20. Let's call it 2250 area for a retest. But right now, this is acting as support. So if I zoom in on the hour, we're going to see old support that we're currently retesting. If we break through, a retest could be signaling the buys here.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, it's bullish. But let's just. I don't think the entire move is bullish. I think it's just this lower time frame that's bullish right now on gold. We do have the double tops. We did come down. We did break a little bit of that structure here that we're retesting. So we could be coming down, but I wouldn't negate a bullish market today.
Yeah. on gold, like that 200 is right near on the 1 hour, it's right near the 50 on the fib. And on the 4 hour, that the 50 is near the 50 MA is near the 50. Is that how yours is come? Yeah.
So, and that I do like that target as it's coming up.
Yeah. Because it seems like it's pushing off of that 1 hour 50. So if we can catch a pullback on that to take that higher would be great.
Yeah, we'll see if we get the rejection here. I do like that. If it comes back, maybe that hour 50 starts to cup over and starts to come up.
Yeah, it's got 10 minutes to the next candle.
Yeah, I do like that. I like the 4-hour shark fin up to the 50. That's one thing. I like the 1 hour shark fin divergence that broke the 1 hour 50.
Yeah,
It does look like it's signaling a turnaround from that point.
definitely.
What do we got? We got 40 minutes till open. All right, so we may get it knocked down based off of this 5-minute shark fin. It may start coming down based off of that. That's completely different. It's so really the 3 and 2 minute and 1 minute is showing that it wants to push up higher. So
Yeah,
we'll see if it comes back down and retests this level. This 23.6, we may start looking at some buys in that area. We'll just watch price action. Now this looks like a reversal pattern on the 5-minute. From this down move, definitely has some areas where it could not close.
right.
In here, where it's been both rejection and support. Started to get that left shoulder. And again, this is on the 5 minutes, so this is a short-term move. Got the left shoulder there.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. So we're starting to get that reversal pattern here. The neckline is right in this area. So you want that broken first and then support. The 5-minute 50 is going to cup under. Let me just look and see where we're at here. We do have a level of support that we're currently on that has produced highs. Don't want to do that. That has produced highs. And we have the 1 hour divergence from lows to lows. Look at the 4 hour. 4 hours breaking the band, but it's ranging above 50. Don't like how much we sold off though through the night, but this is where we were yesterday, primarily. And so it's the bottom of the range that we could see spikes down into this liquidity zone and then pushes to the upside. We may see something like that. Then pulling below liquidity. That may be a possibility. If it falls through though, it'll use this area as resistance. But if we get the double bottom and then we get the momentum to break the neckline, we could potentially be coming up to here. And then from there, we're in a range, so it could just come back down. But at least for the initial buy, that may be a possibility, some potential.
Yeah, because that one, excuse me, that 1 hour 200. Do you have your MAs up? Your 1 hour 200 is right below there. and then we rejected off of the 50. Kind of above that, but let me see. Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah, on
Because on the
these
4 hour, you've got the 50 right at
where's
that level of support.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be interesting if it checks off of that area.
Yeah, and the 800s there acting as
Yeah.
support as well.
Yeah.
Starting to like it. Starting to like the buy.
Let's see where we are. Terrence, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at NQ right now. But they look
You know,
similar.
when you get quiet.
Listen. Nah, I just kept flipping back from NQ to Dow.
Yeah, from a macro standpoint, they all the indices are at highs that needs information to push higher than the highs or to push to the lows. A positive CPI is going to drop this significantly down to start eating up some of that run. A negative CPI, we're going to create new highs. And so we're going to be in this mid-range or this sort of pattern until that news happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
Unless there's some companies that already have the data.
True.
Yeah. I was talking to Paula yesterday, and it's like this, just ranging within that. I mean, you can put a rectangle around it, and you're staying basically within that. And I don't think we're going to get like a break out of that until tomorrow.
Yeah. So with that, then strategy for today. I mean, we know what kind of the ranges are, and so really strategy for today is range high to range low.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get to the low of range, take it to the higher range. Once we're at the high to the low, really with what US 30 did yesterday, it really didn't break it. It just hit top of range, lower range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And news will break it out of that. So these spikes are news, but for the most part, we're ranging.
Yep. It's not a bad market for me.
Yeah, you dominating these type of markets, range high, range low.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so are you looking for buys on you said you're looking at NQ?
Yep, I was looking at NQ. Yeah, I am looking for buys though. Looking for buys at the bottom of the range. And I'm on, of course, I done went down to the 1 minute. I'm actually in a buy right now on NQ. I just got in, but I'm in one on NQ. We didn't quite have a 1 minute shark thing, but it did touch that bottom band.
Yeah.
With the divergence.
Yeah, with the divergence. Yeah. Yeah, so I just got in one.
You just take it out. Yeah.
That was a good move.
Taking this up to the session anchor VWAP, or are you just doing the 25?
I got it set for the 25. We'll see how quickly it gets up that direction. I may just close some and let the rest run to the session anchor.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, these are ones where timing is everything. Especially on that 1 minute, you try to get the best position, and because it will kind of range and continue to go up, down, but I do think it's gonna push up to my 25 ticks. But that TDI is actually moving faster than the price action. So.
Let me see.
Give me 2 minutes. I gotta.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's definitely moving faster. Like I'm down 350 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wants to go. There's a trend line right
Right
did
there.
You touch on that? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm trying to see if it's gonna break that trend. If it breaks the trend, which,
it wants to go back down.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I think I'm gonna cut my losses on this one. Yeah.
Because I had two trend lines there. Like one that it broke through, then it retested, and then it looked like that move that you were in was going to come back up to retest it. And then it came down.
Yeah, I took a 350 loss on there.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's recoverable.
Yep,
it's better than like a 1250.
It is. Like when I know it's not going to do what I wanted to do,
just get out.
It doesn't have to hit my 25 tick stop loss at all.
Yeah,
and I'm glad I did because it's pushed way down now. It's funny where it's at right now. It is retesting that previous low. And last time it was here, we got a good solid reaction. And it went up, so I just don't like where it is on TDI.
Yeah, go to the 15 minutes. You've got another trend line.
Yep, I see it further down.
You see it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how many minutes. Okay, so this was just a new candle on the hour. So this candle was new because we just went so I'm wondering, is that, but it still looks like it's a little bearish.
Yeah, I like the bottom of the range. Here's top of range, here's bottom. I like it down here.
Yeah,
that's a possibility.
Yeah. Yeah, that 8 o'clock would have been a good candle to get in on for that sale there, but
yeah, it's coming down. It's starting to get that inverted head and shoulder pattern on the 5 minute again.
Yeah.
And we'll see. And let's just look and see YM is like that as well, where it has that inverted. Really can't close below these levels. Having a hard time closing below these levels. Go back to NQ. So kind of looking at the same thing here. If these levels are going to hold. And this one does look, it's getting bearish. This is the neckline here for a larger move. So possibly retesting the bottom, possibly coming up, and then if it can, will it go past VWAP? And we'll really see that when we get volume. But TDI is getting really low here, dropping pretty fast. So I think we're going to get this move to happen shortly.
Mhm. Yeah. Let me see here.
Yeah, if not right there. I think I'm gonna. Look, my. Oh, Terrence, did you check the account, see if it reset it?
Yeah, I didn't see that it reset it. I know I saw something was going on yesterday and they reset some accounts.
Yeah, mine got reset.
Yeah, mine did too.
They said we're not resetting this, guys, because we went in with 100 micros.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, it's I actually want this to. I either want to take it here. If it goes past this level, I don't want it. I want a really tight stop loss on this. So I'm gonna manually close it if it goes past that level, or go past. Yeah, that's 100. So now I'll take it at the trend line. I just wanted to see if it's going to stop here, or does it want to come down? So I'll wait for it. Looks like it's sliding down now.
Yeah.
Maybe it does.
I'm hoping we get down to like 19, 39.
Yep.
Yeah, and retest those bottoms.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's a little tricky because it could leave here with this pattern. So it's gonna it looks like it is leaving. But 19 will be a more confident play, but this is right shoulder area right here that's being retested. It's the where this resistance was. Yes, so hopefully it gets knocked down. I gotta do it. This is where I entered in before, it got knocked down, and I exited past that. So kind of the same understanding as it ranges. Kind of want to be right here. If it goes past this level, actually, let me move it past this liquidity.
Yep, that's an interesting spot right there.
So not a lot at risk here, just a couple $100 at risk at that level. More so looks like this.
Oh.
Yeah, then if the neckline gets broke here, then I'll carry it a little higher. Then we'll move the stop to break even at this point. And so now it's risk-free.
Always a good thing.
Yeah.
Always a good thing to be risk-free.
Yeah, I'm gonna add into it. Then move the stop in. That's a way to add into your orders and still keep the stop at break even.
Mm-hmm.
Terrace, did you get in the buy? What are you doing?
I did not.
You did
No.
not?
No, did you?
I am in the buy.
Okay, good base. How
I
heavy
may have
did
to
you
move
go?
my
in?
stop.
100.
No, okay. Oh, I don't know why I asked you that. Like, I know what you did.
100. Yeah. Let's see. On that 5 minute, what are we looking like though?
Yeah, it's not the best area, but
It's not, but there we go. Come on and push up. That's what I wanted to see. A little push there.
We get fully past this 1 minute 50. Looks like it's past that.
Yep.
There you go.
it's moving now.
So I got in at the break of that 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it takes it up to that 200, that 30-second 200, I would be happy. I don't know that it will, but on the 5 minute, that would be like that 800. I mean, there's still good possibility for this to, that 15 minute though has got to turn around. And there's 2 minutes left in that 15-minute candle.
Yeah, this is looking good. This looks like something that has the potential to run if it keeps retesting the past consolidation and finding support there. Yeah, it looks like it could run.
1 hour.
Let's go. Push.
Yep. Let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take my stop into profit now. Break even. And let's see what we can do here.
Yeah, this one, I got in and trading it manually and didn't put a stop on there.
Okay.
I'm adding one now.
Yep, all good.
I'm at least gonna put one at break even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just stacking into this position.
Okay, Tim. Stack on.
You know, I'll be honest. I tried to stack yesterday. I don't know what I did.
Listen, I don't know.
I was clicking stuff. I'm like, I told that the last night. I'm like, I was clicking stuff. I closed out something wrong. I mean, I was just all over the bush. So I'm like, not going to do that. I'm going to go back on my paper account and try stacking in until I can get that right. Because I didn't do something right yesterday.
Yep. Yeah,
And
I'm not.
I think my cursor was on limit order, and I kept hitting that instead of market. Yeah, it was not good. It was not good. Uh-oh. Let's see what's going on here.
Yeah.
Okay, it's still gonna go up. It's just messing around a little bit.
Yeah.
And I
Fine.
did move my take profit up. Did you guys move? Where's your take profit?
Yeah, I'm constantly just following. I'm gonna keep it at break even. I'm either gonna make a little or make 1,000.
Exactly, because it's too close to open. It's gonna wick around.
Yeah.
It's just wick to where. That 5 minute. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, because I think it'll give us a good position at open, even if it does come and retest this liquidity.
Right.
It still give us a good position to get in if this position doesn't work.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like, well, we'll see. I'm just like looking at, if you look at like the 5 minute TDI, it's still kind of bullish there.
Yeah.
We just need to get over that. Well, I say that, but then you look at it and it's kind of tight. You know how we talked about the bands not being wide to where the trade has room to breathe. So I'm wondering if this 5 minute 800 is going to be, hello, where are they? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't know why I'm saying that. Grand girl's over today.
Oh.
Hey.
So, okay, we're still playing around a little bit with this.
Yeah.
Okay, but that 30-second is now like, you see where it rejected off of that 200 on the 30-second?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That was the retest of this area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we will see. Y'all notice how quiet we get when the trade is iffy. Okay.
Just watching. Yeah, it's rejecting off that. If we get up past this 1 hour 50, that's what I was looking at. Is like,
yeah.
Like, it get quiet just watching. Like the trade is in.
Exactly. We can't change it. We can get out of it, but
we can get out. But yeah,
it's like, okay, we're all like, okay, we're trying to do mental calisthenics to move that price up.
Yeah, just reading the price action. I was looking at this pattern. I think you see it best on the 5 minute, and was measuring from the head to the neckline, that once it breaks here, that we could be coming up to the top of the range.
Yeah.
As a possibility. But it would have to break and retest, and so we don't know if it's going to come back down and test that again, but possibility of having a stop that looks like that.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a few more seconds on that. Yep, it is really, really.
Yeah, and we know we're going to get the wick action at open, so it'd be good just at our levels. There's 2 levels if we get wicked out. That if price pushes down to this level again, or down here to this liquidity level, that 1930 or 1950 are the two levels that we're looking at to get back into this. Once open happens, we'll just get the liquidity. So just be conscious of where that's at. And it's been selling off. So top of range, lower range, we'll probably stay within that range, but making sure that
I'm at break even.
Yeah, it's breaking me out now.
Yeah,
I'm out at break even.
Yeah, it stopped me out.
Yeah.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. So now it comes down to this first level. And hit liquidity. And it may just retest here too. Gotta be cautious of this.
Because when you look at that 5 minute and there's such, the structure there and that ranging, it's like, okay, at 1950, it's like, okay, well, it is what it is. We will recoup today. And right before open, I gotta go because I got a meeting at 8:30.
All right. Well, what are you looking at today? And do you want? What do you think about the? This keeps popping up. It's popped up again, Dr. Denise. I don't know what's going on. Terrence, are you clicking this in the background?
I am not clicking it at all.
We got to talk to our production manager about, like, we're trying to watch the price action.
And who would that be? Okay.
The production manager. We'll just put it on the production manager.
But those flyers are so good, aren't they?
They are.
They are.
That's my favorite right there. Yeah.
They are. This one is my favorite. And I have an idea for the other one. I do have an idea for the other one that that one. But I'll share it with you guys. See, I'm going to allow you guys to allow me to be part of the process, okay? So y'all can stop plotting and scheming without me in the conversation. But I'll share my idea. I'll share my idea with you guys.
Yeah.
In Discord.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
And that just been real quiet.
Yeah, I know she's back now. She should be back now.
She'll be back, yeah.
Oh, Nedra sees it.
What'd she say?
I said Nedra sees it.
Okay, so she hasn't said anything recently, but I'm sure she's gonna put something in Discord for you. I'm almost positive.
I think she just went into planning mode. She's planning what it's all doing and all of that, so she's ready.
Okay. Well, I want to say it like this: trade safe. Let's go get those coins today.
Yeah. But
trade safe.
Yep.
All right. You have a good day.
Have an awesome day.
All right. You too, Dr. Denise.
Bye-bye.
All right, our job is done, Terrace. We got it in motion.
We got it. Oh, and it worked perfectly too.
It worked perfectly. It's the power of agreement. Somebody said it. You got to get the advancers involved, and then we can push it over.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Oh no, that is funny.
Yeah.
What did US 30 do?
Probably did.
Climbed as well.
Yep.
Climbed as well. Looks a little more choppy than NAS. NAS looks a little cleaner.
It's been a lot cleaner lately.
Yeah. Yeah, you know the Anthony Edwards, he has that he talks about that when he drives, he does that in slow motion. To fool the that's what I feel like Nas is doing, is that slow motion move.
Yeah,
like it'll just a real stop and stutter before it actually goes.
Yeah, but it's gonna go.
Yeah, we're starting to get volume now, And I do want to put it in a position right here, but I know not to.
Yeah, I know.
I really want to put it in a position right now. But I'm going to be disciplined and wait for it to come down because we know we're going to get the spike down.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the spike down. It'll probably start to happen before. Well, yeah, it's starting to happen now.
Yeah.
You'll get that spike down, and I'll just look for the entry around the opening.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to stick with. Let me just look at gold really quick. Yeah, I'm going to stick with NQ this morning. So I'm going to close that out. We're going to watch NQ this morning. Trade some NQ. We got NQ traders in the community. I know Jeremy's one of the NQ traders that trades a lot of NQ. What's everyone looking at this morning? Got bell in 4 minutes. Oh, I want to enter this so bad. No, it's going to push down.
I got my trade just sitting there set. All I gotta do is click the button.
Oh man. Like you got CPI tomorrow, so I'm not too anxious with it, probably, but I do want to enter this level. Maybe I'll take a small position on this level, just to get. It won't even take like a 257 to all the way down here. Maybe I'll just do a small position. Very small. I'm seeing the confluence I'm looking for. This level here. Not a solid level, but still we're getting reactions off of this level. But know that 1940 and 1930 could get tapped at the open.
Yep.
So okay with the risk there, but we're taking this to top of the range. Why do I have it here? That's top of the range.
Yeah, and that's top of the range on the 1 hour.
Yeah, on the higher time frames, it's top of the range. That's where we've been getting the rejections off of.
Yep.
And even in a sale, it could still do something like this. But it's consolidated. I mean, right now it's a down. It broke this level. It broke out of this level. Broke there. So even a retest of that level. But we have great reactions off of this. So we'll just see if it happens again. We could just drop out from here. Really no reason to do that.
Got 1 minute.
Got the bell queued up. We're gonna pause the music here.
Give us a push.
Waiting for the calm. It's the calm before the storm. Calm before the volume. And I just put a small position just in case this is the level. Put a small position in. And yeah, let's see where it goes. Here we go. Here we go. And we are running with, and I put a very small position on. And we're going top of the range right now. It's top of the range, so it's not something that I want to stack in here right now. Really want that broken and retested before I start stacking into it. And this is yeah, I may just move this stop here and start to stack into it. Yeah, we may come to them.
No. Push.
Yeah, that VWAP, it has to get past that. It's struggling. Now we still could see buys here, but my next level is down lower at 1920, 1930, 1920 area. All right, so this is the first area we talked about here. Yeah, it likes this area. It likes that area. Getting a lot of rejections. There it goes. Are you just wicking me out? We'll just keep it right below there, the stop. And I'm manually operating the stop right now.
Yeah, me too.
And it's having a hard time breaking this level. Once that level breaks, we can put in more, but right now it's having a hard time breaking that level. So we got to be prepared for it to come down into this blue zone. Which is bottom of the range. I have a separate screen over here. I'm looking at gold buys. It does look like gold is getting ready to push up. It's got the divergence. It has that double bottom. Let me see. As I'm watching this. So this is what I'm looking at on gold. That rejection off of that 23.6 and then pushing up to liquidity. So that's what we're looking at on gold.
Okay.
But we're here on NAS. We need this session anchor VWAP to be broken. Use that as support. And there we go. We got the volume now. And now we're starting to get the push. And our target is up here at the blue zone. Top of the range. All right, we could come back down, retest where we broke out at. That was a legitimate breakout. And we're at my daily target here, approaching 1,000 on the day. Trading this on 3 accounts. So we'll take it here.
Yeah, I just took mine too at 1,000.
Yeah. Good trade.
Yeah. Real good trade.
I mean, we're not looking for home runs, but we'll take the base hit.
It's not a bad base hit at all.
Not at all. It actually still run. The target was the top. just want to watch and see if it gets there. And then I'm also watching go. Now, this may be setting up for a good sell, too, at the top of the range.
Mm-hmm. Yep. If it can't break that range, and I'm sure it's going to test it a couple times.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that would be a really good sell down.
Yeah. This is a level that we broke. So if it pushes down, this would be the next buy area right here.
Yep.
All right, so this is the retest here. Let's see what it does. Get that initial reaction off of it. And then will it go to the upside? It's going to retest it again for you. I'm on the 30 seconds, so this is in the 1 minute. This hasn't played out yet.
Yep. Yeah, I'm looking on the 1 minute right now, but I'm going to go down to the 30.
So it's a retest of this break of structure, retest of we broke through the session anchor VWAP. We're pushing up from that now. And is this the buy area? It looks like it.
Yeah, I think I may get in.
Just for the rest of the way. And we're going to hold it just to the stop. I'm manually trading this, but the stop was going to be right at the session anchor VWAP. Just the retest of this last area that's over here. We're on the lower time frames trading this. We saw that there wasn't a true direction on the higher time frames. So we're in a range. So we marked out low of range. We marked out top of range. And we're taking this trade from the low of range to the top of the range.
All right, it is.
All right, here's the retest right here.
Yep.
Retesting these last highs that we broke through. Session anchor VWAPs acting as support. And if it breaks that, we'll exit the trade. If it stays on top, we'll carry it to the top of to the top 19. Let's call it 19.1, 19. Yeah, 19.1, 105. All right, starting to look like it's coming down. Manually trading it. Stop is just below this blue area of the retest. Manually trading it. And looks like we're going to exit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We are out of there.
Yep, same here.
As it comes down. Yeah, range bound. Doesn't want to get that push. Doesn't want to get that push up. So we're just range bound right now. And the gold push. Nope, gold came down. Pushed up a little bit, but then came down, created the low. All right, well. Kind of not interested in the sales or buys at the moment until we get it lower.
Yep.
We do have evening markets tonight. We will be looking at Nikkei and gold through the night markets. We'll look at NQ as well. It'll be interesting to see what, just because it's the night before. Let's try this again. Just because it's the night before the CPI data, it'll be an interesting night. All right, I'm just looking at these. Do I want it here? I'm just doing a quick survey. Really should be waiting for the retest, but we're retesting this level so we get a quick reaction.
Mhm.
I'm just scalping right now for the most part. We have our targets. No, it doesn't want it. Doesn't want it. Does it want it? Just scalping a little bit here.
Yep.
I don't have a true move here. I'm just scalping just some of these retest areas as they come down.
It's so funny, Tim, because we're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
200, 300, like get a little bit, it adds up. So
yeah,
yeah,
it comes down. There's not a true direction in this range. Like it'll make a move, but it'll grab liquidity first before it makes the move of the day.
Yep.
And I don't think it's. Oh yeah, I guess it has put in the high of the day. This is the low of the day, so we're in the range. We're in between the high and the low of the session. So that's not really direction. Not creating a new high. We're not creating a new low. We're just ranging in between. So not a ideal scenario. Have top of the range up here, and that's where it's going. That's why I wanted that buy here, but I'm not risking it.
Yeah, it's pushing.
Yeah, I think it'll hit the target, but it's how it hits the target that matters to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Like tomorrow on CPI, we know it's going to go straight to the target.
Yep.
Look at the DXY. DXY is dropping, so this may be a good 1 minute. DXY is retesting as well. It's retesting a level here on the 1 minute. So y'all, I do look at 1 minute structure especially in these ranging markets. But DXY looks bullish. Oh yeah, on once you determine where the higher time frames structure is, I definitely do.
Then you do. Okay, I got you. All right.
Like the higher time frames is in mind where we're going. But yeah, this is pushing down. Like where is it pushing down to? We have the divergence, 15 minute. See if I can find. Yeah, like I would be in this buy. I like this buy. I know it's starting and stopping, but I do like this buy. Let's look at YM. This one dropped way out. Let's see where this one's going. Yeah, we're gonna have higher time frame support coming up here. We broke out of the range on US 30, so we're gonna have higher time frame support coming. We got 15 minutes left on the hour candle. This is this breakout is, I mean, it gives you that bearish feel. You should be in sales, but I'm looking at potential retest here of the from the breakout. At some point, we're going to come back and touch that. But right now, in the interim, it's bearish. But to me, that's just opportunity. Everyone in the market is selling. It's just dropping fast. Don't want to step in front of this. Take a look. Yeah, really nothing happening. Got that 10-year bond auction that's happening after lunch. So nothing to write home about. I'm just scanning, trying to get perspective of the markets and what all the markets are doing, because that'll help us as well. And market is selling off right now, down destruction. Like this US 30 is going below 1%.
Oh, wow.
Which is rare. Yeah, we got a bullish dollar, ladies and gentlemen. We have a bullish dollar. All right. Yeah, it's I'm still a little bit in profit. Not it's what to be expected for a day like this with no news. But I feel like this is going to be a good week if we can catch CPI tomorrow. All right, here we go. No, that's S&P. Here's NAS. Look at this. The market is falling out on the 1 minute. It's crazy. The market's falling out on 1 minute. Let's go to the hour, and we're just coming. But it's still going to break out of the range, though. So that's significant. You know, we're coming down into these levels here. So even this breakout of the range, as we start coming down, we saw what it does when it breaks out of the range and how it pulls back. So what are things that we could potentially look at? We could look at Bollinger Bands, these flat Bollinger Bands. Once they begin flat, they act as rubber bands. When you pull out of a range, it'll start to reject off of, depending on the momentum, but it'll start to bounce off of the bands to pull to the top side of the range if this is not a true fallout. Unless someone can find what would cause a bullish market to sell off today, you have to start looking for support. All right, when that support is going to occur. And so we look for flat Bollinger Bands. We're not looking for the sliding. We're not looking for them pointing down. We're just looking for them like this, flat, open wide and turn flat. Those are possible areas of rejection. So you can see how it rejected off of there. On the 2 hour, we start to filter through to find those kind of rejections. Which, if I adjust this like this, and this is the what's this, 2.0, 2.5, 3.0. Those are the deviations in the bands. So VWAP, it has deviations as well. They just calculate differently. So it's sort of like the VWAP. And when it starts to pull down, you start to look at potential, and it's measuring the velocity of how price is moving, the volume and how price is moving, the speed and the weight of how price is moving is being measured by these bands. And so when they're overextended, you'll see those bands contract and push price back up just to bring the market back into balance. If market starts to drop out, that's called an event. It's an event where market is out of balance. Right? Market wants harmony as well. It wants to pull back into into a balance of, you always want to keep the sellers here. We always want to keep the buyers here. So even in selling markets, there's still buyers in this market. They're just buying at a certain price. And this is a potential price that we could be buying off of, that we bought off before, that potentially could be coming in. You know, I haven't really seen a good trade today, but am looking at, you know, if we were interested in buys up here, are we interested in buys down here? Yeah, it's going to induce more buyers into the market, possibly taking it to the upside. So as price gets cheaper, more buyers are going to come in.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting a little push up on US 30.
Yeah, and I'm going to take a small position here.
Yeah, small buy
on this. Yeah, on NAS. We're not looking at home runs here, so very small positions. This is 1300. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know if I want to risk 1300 here. We'll do it. Let that run. So you said buys on US 30?
Yeah, it's looks like it rejected off of a area on the 1 hour, and it's pushing up slowly a little bit. I'm not sure if this is the actual move though, or if it's just retracing and is going to continue to push down. But
yeah, I mean, it looks like, I mean, we're in a short market, but it's selling off this morning. But we're just looking at the counter trend push up. Can we get a counter trend? And then once it gets up to retest, then we'll get back into the sales.
Yeah.
And we're not necessarily looking for it to go that high, but just at least will it retest without getting in resistance to that, because there is sellers in the market that is pushing price down, so very risky. All right, let's see what price does. We'll let this one run. And it's kind of want to be on the sell side, but just better at seeing buys. But see what the sales are doing. This is a big push down. This is a counter trend move that I'm currently in. So we may get, and we see these moves a lot, that where you get bid on just going against the volume and the momentum of direction of the market. We've seen these moves a lot, especially from me. Here it comes right now. Yeah. Where I'll go against and try to catch it back up, stand in front of it. Sometimes it works, like with Nikkei and different things, it'll work. But there's a lot of volume that's pushing this down right now. Let's look at that. Just want to see that volume candle. Yeah, this volume candle that came in, it's not too much shorts. I mean, we'll start to see this trickle down where a lot of this will leave, but there isn't, at least on this time frame. Yeah, it's more sellers in the market than buyers, especially on this 15-minute candle is still playing out with 5 minutes left. This is all red. Yeah. So we probably won't see that with exhaustion, too much exhaustion, but it is pushing lower. And we don't know where the bottom is, where the bottom's going to be. definitely something to watch. But the shorts have it, and this manipulation of breaking of the VWAP really didn't create the session high. Session high is here. This was session high, and so we're creating session low actually. All right, I'm still looking for buys here. Probably not on this call, but I think we're going to end somewhere in the day. We're going to end mid-range. Right now, the sellers have it, but I think this is a nice area to look at buys. We're at a psychological level now at 1900. Is 1900 going to hold as support, or are we going to break through 1900?
Yeah.
All right, so that's something to pay attention to, because we're creating the low of the session. In this move, it's the low of the session open. So for today. And so is 1900 the session low? That pushes us to the high. That's what kind of interests me, and keep dabbing 1,000 here, 1,000 here, and testing these bottoms just out of the desire to get in on these bottom moves. Yeah,
I caught a little of the buy on US 30, just kind of retracing up some, but I'm in a sell. I'm in a sell on US 30 now, and I just did 1350 on that. So
nice.
Yeah, just say 1350. Yeah, it had a nice shark fin on the 1 minute.
Are you doing one-to-ones or in this market, or how are you handling it?
I'm not really doing one-to-ones. I literally just look for enough exhaustion at a level, and then I'm putting my stop loss right above that. And so sometimes it ends up being a one, but most of them it's better than a one-to-one.
Yeah,
I don't like. I'm looking for my 25 ticks, but I don't want to necessarily risk 25 ticks if I don't have to.
Yeah.
I'm okay with risking it, but if I don't have to, if I can get a really good entry, don't go in the drawdown. Like I'm more apt to hold that one. So,
yeah. Yeah, this is the move. It's that the divergence that played out. Now, so if you think about this, 1900 is holding up on NAS, and we're going to get ready to end in a couple minutes, but I just want to point this out before we end. 1900 is holding on NAS. It potentially could be creating a neckline where it's at right now. This was old liquidity over here that was used as support that we're rejecting off of. Once that breaks, that's a good entry, and the target would be to the upside. We put in a potential low of the day. This is a potential low of the day. And now that we're breaking out of that, we could be potentially putting in a high, or going to the high. And remember, we'll probably end up trading within this range, but the high of the day is sitting right here at 113, 115. Right, so that's the high. So even if we're in range and we start to work out between 19, the low of the session is here, and we're starting to climb and break that. This could be potential buy area coming up to carry this to the upside. So something to watch for. I'm going to wait for the right shoulder to come down, and then see how that holds, and then potentially enter into buys from that point. And saying that, okay, 1900 is going to serve as the low of the day, so stop losses is below 1900, and then carry it to the upside. So it's kind of what I'm going to look at for the rest of the day.
Yeah, and I'm going to have an alert set a little bit above that 1900, just so I come back to watch it. But I like that play.
Yeah.
And that's a long run, a really long run right there. If it
here's the neckline. This may be the retest here. That may be the retest if we break out climb on top of that. That may be the retest. So I'm gonna let this one run. And that's what we'll have for today. Stop loss below 1900. And we're going to see if 1900 acts as the low of the session. Yeah, we're starting to get that break and retest, and now it's pushing up. I'm going to move my stop loss or my take profit up a little bit because this is and manually trade it. All right, this is a retest of what we broke out at. This is kind of all that we would want to look for. So I may close out. I'm gonna close out some of this. I'm gonna close out 16 contracts. And move this to break even and keep letting that retest. All right, so that's what I'm thinking about today. We're a little bit over time, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. I want to see those. We have the low put in, so I'm going to leave this here to see if we go and retest the high of the day now. Now that we have a low at 1900.
Yep.
All right. Cool. Well, good trading today. You ended up positive today.
Yeah, so it's been a mixed bag, but I am positive. I lost like 350 on the trade. I made 700. I made 1350, and then I lost like another 600. So I got to look at my P&L, but I am up. I am up to. So
yeah, and it's you know, on a day like this, you do those scalps. The more that you're in the market, the more potential you have to lose.
Yeah.
It's not an ideal trading day. It's just like these little scalp moves that are going to do. But we do have a big day tomorrow, so it's good that you're up for today. Good that we preserve some capital and live to fight another day.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, we will jump off. We have night markets tonight. That will be we're looking at Nikkei and gold before the big news in the morning. Well, that'll be good, important for tonight. And we will see you then. For the advancers, we'll see you in the Discord. But good job, everyone.
Yes.
And we will see you later.
Everybody join night markets tonight. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's going down. All right, everyone. Have a good one.